Hello, it's Spirit House again, obviously, and I'm reading again tonight from The Secret of Light by Walter Russell. And we're in part 3, This Magnetic Electric Universe, and I'm reading starting with a section of The Shape of the Universe. This ageless universe has no shape. It has a seeming infinite extension, but that extension is a reflected one. This electric universe of two-way extended light is but a series of mirrors, which reflect into each other through curved lenses. Its seeming extension might be likened to a light within a mirror-bound room. One light within such a mirrored enclosure would seemingly extend infinitely, but the light must... Sorry, let me start that over. One light within such a mirrored enclosure would seemingly extend infinitely, but the light thus mirrored would be the same light. The reflected extension would have no reality. The idea of continuity or discontinuity is based upon mirrored effect of an initial cause. Continuity infers time. Time is but one of the effects which constitutes this universe. Time flows two ways, but the senses detect only the forward flow. They cannot detect the backward flow, which cancels out the forward flow. Time is as unreal as the wave universe is unreal. What is true in principle of one wave is true of all waves. Each wave is a two-way reflected extension of an equilibrium zero, which we call a vibration. Vibrations appear, disappear, and reappear from their source of rest to manifest idea, which is existent alone in rest. Just as the vibration of one wave disappears into its zero of universal stillness, so do all vibrations disappear into the universal zero of stillness. This zero universe of vibrating waves can have no shape other than a seeming one. The voiding principle. This is a zero universe of seeming mechanical motion of force exerted in a seeming three-dimensional universe. Every action of any nature begins with 0, counts up to 9, to end and begin again in 0. Beyond 9, it cannot go, but up to 9 it must go. 9 is universal. 9 is universal because it is the wave field number, the 8 of the cube centered by the gravity of gravity in the sphere. Our decimal system is based upon the wave field of the cube sphere. It is as follows. Let me show you. The musical scale and the spectrum of nature correspond to the wave field tones. They are as follows. Figure 75 demonstrates this fact. The three centering planes are centered by 0. All intersections of these planes add up to 8. 8 centered by their 0 source equals 9. Likewise, the cube itself adds up to 8 by counting the intersections of its 6 faces. Also, there are 8 directions of action and 8 of reaction, each 8 being 4 pairs, which are 9 by adding the centering 0. 9 is the 3 times 3 of length, breadth, and height extended from 0. The length, breadth, and height of any expression is 2 extended zeros centered by 0. Length and breadth are static, for they are both on equipotential levels. Height is dynamic, for it is radial. The universal 9 of matter and space is 3 mirrors of rest, centered by rest, from which all 3 extend at right angles to each other, each mirroring itself into the other. The universal 9 of the octave is 4 pairs of opposite pressures extending diagonally from 0, which centers the cube, to 8 zeros, which corner the cube. And it refers back to figure 75, which I already showed. The measure of extension from 0 to 0 is desire for extension. Desire for extension from 0 to 0 is energy in 0. Energy extended from 0 to 0 is manifested by pressuring the desire equally multiplied and divided, equally added and subtracted, equally credited and debited, and equally and oppositely conditioned. The sum of all these balanced effects is 0. Figure 75 again. 0 pressures equally multiplied and divided are manifested by the action and reaction of motion. Motion is a projection of the opposed energy pressures of desire from within a centering 0 to the extended mirrors of rest, which mirror desire and mirror it back to rest in the centering 0 as expressed desire. The sum of dually reflected motion thus expressed is 0. 0 thus extended by action to fulfill desire for expression and simultaneously mirrored back to manifest the fulfillment of expressed desire is all there is to this universe of rest. 0 multiplied or divided, added or subtracted, extended or retracted results in 0. This is a 0 universe in all effects of motion, a seeming universe in time and sequence, and a mirage universe of imagined form. It is a universe of two negations which simultaneously cancel each other and sequentially repeat the canceling of their negations to create the illusion that 0 can be multiplied or divided or added to or subtracted from to create a reality which never is nor can become. Again, figure 75. That is what creation is. It is the imagining of knowing. Knowing is light. Light is still. Imagining is thinking. Thinking is the imagined action and reaction of motion mirrored from 0 of rest to 0 of rest. This is a still universe of the light of knowing. In it is no activity. But what about our senses? Our senses tell us otherwise. Our senses are inadequate. They deceive us mightily. And that is good, else the play of creation could not be played. The senses record but little of the whole. If the senses could but see the whole, there would be no play. The senses record motion alone, for the senses themselves are but motion. Motion is an illusion which only seems. It has no being. The senses do not know, but man believes that his senses do know, and in that belief lies man's confusion. The senses, being but motion, sense moving things and moving light mirrored as moving things. They sense the forward motion of an airplane piling up compression ahead of it, but they do not record the mirrored invisible counterpart of that plane, equal to it in potential and speed, moving backward into a vacuum behind the plane, which simultaneously voids the compression ahead of it. This inadequacy of the senses to record the backward flow of forward-moving things causes the illusions of sequence and of time. In figure 77, this principle, diagrammed by arrows extending two ways from every element in the whole known series, indicates that integration is simultaneously balanced by disintegration. No time interval elapses between the debiting of any credit extended to opposites in nature. And I'll go back to figure 77. Figure 78 diagrams all matter as pairs of opposite conditions. Each line is connected with its opposite mate. Each of the pair is a negation of the other one. Each pair is conditioned as the two tanks of air in figure 18 and the storage battery in figure 19 on page 231 are conditioned. That's like the car battery and the bar magnet, ones that I shared earlier. Each one of these elemental pairs is an equal and opposite mirrored extension from a centering 0 fulcrum. The fulcrum of all effect is the one light of God. And here's figure 78. God alone is in man and in all things. Every action is voided as it occurs, is repeated as it is voided, and recorded as it is repeated. From the Divine Iliad. All right, lovelies. I will see you in my next video. Actually, this is the end of the book. It's just the all that's left is footnotes and the index. So I would advise you, if you want to delve further into it, to purchase the book. I'm sure you can purchase it from philosophy.org, from the source there. And I've really enjoyed reading this to you. I hope you gleaned something from it. It was profound for me. This book was, like, reading it, it almost makes me teary because it really had a profound effect on me. And the minute I read it, I knew it was the truth. So I hope I'm sorry. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you all have a wonderful night. And I'll be putting up a poll for you to vote on for which book I should read next. I have a few in mind. So anyway, I love you all. I hope you have a wonderful night. And I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye.